In Revelation chapter 21, verse 9, John is told that he is going to be shown the bride, the wife of the Lamb. Sounds like he's about to see a woman. We saw a woman earlier, and she was this evil woman, the great prostitute. But even though John's told that he's about to see a woman, he doesn't. The angel carried me away in the Spirit to a great high mountain and showed me the holy city Jerusalem coming down out of heaven from God. And so begins the fourth and final vision of Revelation. Just to recap, I want to emphasize that the phrase "in the Spirit" has occurred 3 other times in Revelation. In chapter 1, verse 10, chapter 4, verse 2, chapter 17, verse 3, and now in chapter 21, verse 10. This marks off the 4 major visions in the book of Revelation. In this final vision, John sees the New Jerusalem. In verses 9 through 21, we see the city from the outside. The description of this heavenly city has a preponderance of the number 12. It had a great high wall with 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and on the gates the names of the 12 tribes of the sons of Israel. Here's more about the wall. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the 12 names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. There's more. The city is measured, and the angel who measured it determined it was 12,000 stadia. According to a footnote in my edition of the English Standard Version, a stadion was about 607 feet. This is a humongous city. I used to live in Houston, one of the largest cities in the United States. It has 637 square miles. That is nothing in comparison to the New Jerusalem, which is around 2 million square miles. Now, with all these 12s, and there's another one in chapter 22, by the way, we'll pick it up in a moment. What do you think John's trying to convey to us? Is he trying to tell us about the literal size of a literal city? Or is Jesus in his revelation showing us that the heavenly Jerusalem is this magnificent and perfect place where God, Jesus, and all his covenant people dwell together? These are symbolic numbers describing the New Jerusalem, the perfect city of God. And we are attempting to use human images to describe the indescribable. We'll go inside the city, starting in verse 22. But here's one more detail that we're given about the outside view. The street that runs through the city is pure gold. Greco-Roman cities typically had a main street running through them. That's what's being described here. But this city street is pure gold, transparent as glass. I don't think John's suggesting to us that gold is the ideal material for pavement. Rather, this is characteristic of the purity of this precious city of God. Ready to go inside? In the Old Jerusalem, there was a temple. There's no temple in the New Jerusalem because its temple is the Lord God, the Almighty, and the Lamb. The Old Jerusalem, it needed a sun and a moon, and not in the New Jerusalem because the glory of God gives its light, and its lamp is the Lamb. As you start walking around in chapter 22, you'll be taken back to the very beginning of the Bible, to Genesis chapters 1 and 2, and the Garden of Eden. In the New Jerusalem, there is the tree of life with its 12 kinds of fruit. There's yet another 12 here in this vision. I want to read the final verses of the final vision in Revelation. Chapter 22, verses 1 through 5. Then the angel showed me the river of the water of life, as clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb, down the middle of the great street of the city. On each side of the river stood the tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations. No longer will there be any curse. The throne of God and of the Lamb will be in this city, and his servants will serve him. They will see his face, and his name will be on their foreheads. There will be no more night. They will not need the light of a lamp or the light of the sun, for the Lord God will give them light, and they will reign forever and ever. The epilogue of Revelation starts in verse 6 of chapter 22 and goes through the end of the book, verse 21. Twice in the epilogue, the tree of life is talked about in verses 14 and 19. The first instance is positive, while the second is negative. Here they are. Blessed are those who wash their robes, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may go through the gates into the city. This is us he's talking about. We have washed our robes in the blood of the Lamb and thus can enjoy free access to the tree of life. Here's verse 19. If anyone takes away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God will take away his share in the tree of life and the holy city, which are described in this book. You know, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden had free access to the tree of life, but it was taken away from them because they sinned and were exiled from God. But that's not what God wanted to happen. He never wanted to have to exile them from the garden. What he wanted was a relationship with them. He's always wanted a relationship with humanity, and that's what he wants today. God and Jesus want a precious relationship with you right now. That relationship doesn't begin, by the way, when we get to heaven. It starts right now. Think about that as you read Revelation chapters 21 and 22 today.